Hello?
Are we really friends?
Of course we are. What's wrong?
I'm just not sure that you're worth all the trouble sometimes.
What kind of trouble are you in this time?
Why do you have to be so specific all the time? Everybody has some trouble. I had to pick up the phone to call you, and to be doing this means I'm not doing
So I'm
something
not
else
with a
I
phone
could
call
be
now?
doing.
You're not making any sense.
Don't do that thing you do where you try to clever your way out of things.
Are you drunk?
I absolutely am not, and I resent the implication.
You've obviously been drinking.
That's a horse of a different color, but I still maintain I am not inebriated.
Well, things are going so well for you, why are you calling me at this ungodly hour?
It's not that late. The night is still young.
Yeah, if it were a weekend. Some of us have work in the morning.
And what are you trying to imply?
Just that you don't have an early work call. So what's the matter?
I still believe that you want to fuck me.
Oh, don't get me started with that one again. We'll be here all night. I don't think you remember the last time we got into that one.
I think that I have a better memory than you give me credit for. You're the one that seems to be either forgetting or avoiding the fact that I called this night in order to question our friendship.
I thought you wanted to talk about my desires to have sex with you.
Don't sing me a lullaby, Casey. I know what I've said, and I really don't know the distinction that you place between the two.
Look, just what have I done to taint myself so heinously in your mind that you would rescind your previous beckoning? After all, it was you going on and on about how that sort of thing was no big deal, and if you had all your faculties about you, you would remember that it was I, not you, that turned down the offer.
Well, it wasn't until it was, so curse your loathsome technicalities. I really don't care whether we ever shared a night together or not, but the point is that you have never let that go. I'm merely some conquest to tempt you with her sullied embrace. I am never just going to be a person to you.
Is that really what you want, though? To just be another person in my life, like Sean or any other friend? Look, does it mean anything to you that I set you apart from every other person in my life?
Now tell me that the cause of that doesn't come from trying to get in my pants.
So let me get this straight. I picked you out of a crowd and decided you were the perfect girl for me. I approached you and spun enough game that you propositioned me, and I turned down because it wouldn't have been special enough. You dumped me, shacked up with some other guy, offered me sex again, no strings attached, which I turned down again, and now you're mad at me for only wanting sex from you?
You seem to have left some parts out.
I did, but they weren't consequential to the you and me sex debate.
No, they were quintessential in the me ever being more than a just that debate, and your story really isn't as endearing as you might have hoped. When you saw me and decided that I was the girl of your dreams, what is it exactly that you were setting your gaze upon? This girl that you knew nothing about? Did you merely fill in all the details with what you were hoping that I would be? Is that why you seem so disappointed with the results of who I truly am at every turn?
Look, what do you want me to say? Of course I want you. That's usually how this type of thing works. If I didn't want to have sex with you, then it wouldn't be any attraction, and the rest would just be out of place.
I'm sure your interest arose from what you could determine of my personality. But tell me, would my visage warrant such an embrace if it were not so pristine? What would come of your intentions if I were to transpire some great malady, such as a fire, and all of my beauty was void?
Am I not supposed to want sex with you just out of a mere accident?
Why do I feel your words are empty and carry but a shadow of the promise that you intend for them to?
Look, what great truth are you trying to get out of me? Look, I'm an unsightly beast, and if left alone to my own devices, there's not one act I would hesitate to perform.
What if I said that a performance from this point on was unwanted? That all you could expect was the whisper of my words?
The whisper of your words is greatly more tolerable than the whisper of your intentions, which seems to be the extent of what I currently receive, marred by warped sincerity.
Do you swear that you're my friend?
And how do you define friends so that there can be no mistake this time?
So you do not.
It's merely that I do to such an extent that I take such a promise very seriously, and I cannot answer honestly unless I take into great consideration of invalidating your query.
I define it as such that you care more about me than you care about yourself.
I think that you're mistaking friendship with love.
You asked me to define it, so I define it as I wish. Would you still be able to love me if I did not permit your sin?
I cannot speak to the desire to access the well, but the pool was too dense long before tonight, so lacking our sin is no discomfort to our most eternal love. But I have to inquire, what is singing to this logic when just the other day you saw fit to tempt me? You and I don't do well with such constant inconsistencies.
I've been wronged.
And what is it you would have me do?
This is not some juvenile test for your manhood. I merely want a friend's ear to help me through
Right,
it.
but in the end, ear or no ear, you're still responsible for the same situation when the sun rises in the morning. Look, unless the person harming you directly benefits me, I don't see why you would refuse a friend's help.
It's the same.
Then abandon us both, but something has to be done.
Your words do not have a ray of truth to them, as you are still in darkness as to the offense. You judge my husband not for what he has done, but for what such a punishment would mean for you, who would be so self-righteous and clad with the intent to yet again take me away from all of this. That may I remind you, I have chosen for myself.
You act as though there's still an injustice. Surely even you by now can admit that you're still wandering adrift in a labyrinth of your own design.
For someone that is so concerned for what is best for me, you really don't listen very well.
Look, what is the point of telling me your problems if you have no intent to fix them? I have a very low tolerance for useless things.
And what happens when I lose my purpose to you?
This has nothing to do with you and me. Take me out of the equation for a second, or as long as you need to. This is how you know that I love you, because this advice is not for me. Leave this guy and run as far and as fast as you can.
And where is it you suggest I go?
Anywhere's better than where you are.
This isn't some Lifetime movie, and we both know it's not true. I'm relatively safe as long as I stay away from you.
So this is my fault now?
I never said that, though I do recall mentioning that I consider you to be some trouble to me. I either room with a stranger, or I'm a burden to a loved one.
If they were really a loved one, you wouldn't be a burden.
I'm not moving in with you.
I wasn't suggesting that you should.
And something far more sinister, you were implying that no one really loves me at all.
Not at all. I was trying to get you out of this mindset that you were helpless or that your situation was as dire as you let on. You can save yourself, and you do have friends that are willing to help.
This isn't easy for me, asking for help.
And what would the neighbors think if they knew?
I don't see the point of your inquiry.
The point is that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. Isn't that what you've always told me?
I think we both knew that I was lying. The truth is, I get by based on how people view me. If I'm not independent or strong enough, then I'm not exotic or sexy enough. And then I become a nothing, just like everybody else.
So now I'm a nothing?
No, my dear boy, you are far from a nothing. You are the man that wouldn't have rules put to him. You are the one person in the world that I don't worry about offending. And for that, I get to be the bitch I only dream about being around everybody else.
The kind that's really not that tough and is scared all the time?
No, well, that too, but I get to be me. And I get to fail and you don't judge me. Do you understand why it is so scary that you would do all of these things that you've done off something as fickle as a first glance across the room?
It was across the street. I'll never forget it.
It all boils down to the same thing, though. If you love me because of no reason at all, then that kind of love can stop for no reason at all. I have to weigh all that you do as if it was just one big elaborate chase to you, and I am the unobtainable prize that will lose its value once you get off the lot with me. To possess me is to observe and accept my death. To be there when I perish.
I don't exactly fall into boxes of being one way or another as much as you speak of me judging you, which is all that you do with every move that I make.
I told you that I was a bitch.
Look, let's focus on what to do now.
I need to go. It was good talking to you.
Are you even going to illuminate me as to what he did to you?
Isn't it obvious and cliche? He beat the shit out of me. I guess he was a jealous type after all. And if he catches me on the phone with you, he's gonna do it again.
I'm sorry.
No need to be. I'm not. Guess even with you, I'm more bitch and less scared. I truly believe that people should have to stick to their word. And I'm gonna hold him to his if it kills me.
What about till death do us part?
Good night, Casey. I'll be in touch.
starting to scare me.
I know.
I haven't been able to sleep since you called.
I know.
So what am I doing right now?
You're on your way over here as we speak.
How did you know that?
I can hear your car in the background. And where else would you be headed at this hour?
So why'd you call me back?
It's almost dawn. Soon we'll leave with the morning dew without a trace of the clarity that has warded me. I will tell myself as my eyes struggle that I will pick up where I left off and continue my work, but things will have changed in my wake. I will only have the dull ache to remind me that there was something important that I had forgotten.
We can reflect on such things together. I'll remind you of the woman that you are tonight.
But I won't be here. I'll be different. I'm dying right now in front of you, and there was nothing that either of us can do about it.
Isn't that what you said you wanted? For me to witness your death?
This will be the invisible death. This body will still be here. And you will still love her. But you won't even remember that I ever existed. There is only one thing left to do. I have said how I feel, but words drift and leave us. There is something that must be reckoned with. That I will be forced to try and remember and make sense of.
What are you about to do?
He beat me. Makes little difference that he loves me. Please promise me that you'll forego that word altogether. Think it's lost all rational meaning.
So what are you gonna do?
What do you think I'm going to do? I mean, it's me we're talking about here.
I know what you're thinking, but you have to let that go. Why do you think I'm taking the time to try and talk you down?
Not to mention driving out to my place uninvited like a madman in the middle of the
Don't worry about
night.
it. You do the same for me.
Pretty sure that I wouldn't. And I wouldn't smugly think I was doing you a favor in the process. Don't you have to be up at a ridiculous hour?
Notice how I'm not mentioning any of that right now.
You should turn around and go home.
Is that really what you want me to do? It sounds like you could use a friend. And this person that you're gonna lose in slumber, I don't want to miss out on getting to know her. She seems like my kind of girl.
How far out are you now?
I don't know, about 5 or 10 minutes.
Good. There's still time.
Time for what? You're starting to scare me again. Come back to me.
I never left. It's going to be hard to explain you showing up.
I'm there by your request. That's all that really matters. Half of everything is yours. You need to start thinking like that.
I'm not the type. I don't want his stuff.
So what's the alternative?
Him getting violent again.
Look, I'll be there if he tries anything. I wouldn't let anything happen to you.
You like being the hero, don't you? It suits you, only I can't stomach being saved.
Then please, tell me what it is you want me to do about tonight. I can't abide letting it go unquestioned.
Especially when the answer favors you. There is always the alternative of you going away and never coming back. He wasn't like this before you. This would solve all my problems with a lot less drama.
I can't live with that either.
You have 30 seconds to ask me anything you want to.
Will you answer honestly?
You're wasting time.
I want to know how you feel about me. I just feel like you can never forgive me for what I did to you sometimes.
Yes.
You didn't answer my question.
If I didn't answer the first time, it's a wasted breath to try again.
It's never a waste asking that. I'll ask you until I get the answer I want.
Do you think you can steal me like that? Just martyr your own feelings of happiness until I feel sorry for you? I could never love someone that I pitied.
Do you love me?
What does it matter if I do or not? It doesn't change the world. I see the moon beating down on us. Sometimes I think that it is drawn to us, not the other way around. It feels like every important moment in my life, it was right there guiding me. And all of those moments were these crazy moments. But I was always so happy to follow the call. The only reason we can't live in that happiness is the crazy one away. The magic logic is harder and harder to get back. It's like we're forever in the wake of a childhood.
Maybe you can have kids of your own one day. You can see it in their eyes and live through them.
You're gonna be a great father one day.
Can I have you tonight?
Good night.
Don't don't you want to know why? I don't want to be just some other guy to you. I don't think that I could be now. You can hide behind whatever you want to, but I'm special. Separate from the rest. You love me.
I really have to go now.
Don't be mad.
I'll leave the side door open for you. I'll see you when you get here.
Is that him?
Lost could it be?
You know I don't like it when you talk to him.
You've been more than clear.
Don't be like that. Look, I'm sorry about what happened earlier. I had too much to drink, and I know that isn't an excuse, but I don't know what else that I can do other than say that I'm sorry and live life. I was hoping to do that with you. You never were the victim type. You were pushing my buttons too.
Are you even capable of responsibility?
Look, you're right. I just hate feeling powerless to change things right now. I just want to do something to make this better.
I'm going to fuck Casey. He's on his way over here right now.
Why do you say things like that?
You're the one that wanted complete honesty.
You just want me to get angry again? To prove you right? Look, whatever it is that you do tonight, it's because of me. It's not because of him. You just remember that.
So how is your manhood feeling right about now? I mean, I didn't know you were just going to let some guy take your wife away from you. Are you still in denial?
He's not going to be taking you.
Are we bargaining already?
I need permission. I'm going to stop him.
So what makes you think he won't anyway?
Because we both know that I'm bigger than him.
And you still think size matters. You are such a caveman.
Let's face it, it does matter. It makes fights. You need weight behind your punches when you land them.
What the fuck was that all about?
Does it really take a fucking rocket science to figure this one out? Nothing like some good old-fashioned carnage to get the blood up. I can see why you boys are so fond of it. I could totally go for a good fuck right now. How would you like to lick his blood off of me? Is that you?
You think I had something to do with this? The neighbors. They must have heard.
What fucking neighbors? You must have told someone.
I told Sean. I was afraid you weren't going to do anything. Like you had it before.
I told you that I was a bitch, and bitches aren't victims. If we can't fuck, then at least kiss me until they take me away and you lose your chance.